Long before Minnesota Governor Tim Walz was considering a vice presidential bid, in 2022, a GOP-led congressional committee was looking at federal pandemic financing. As part of their investigation into the monitoring of pandemic funding after the Feeding Our Future scam, Republicans on the U.S. House Committee on Education and the Workforce sent subpoenas to the Minnesota Department of Education and Governor Tim Walz's office on Wednesday. The scandal involves a contractor who used rosters of made-up children's names to obtain millions of dollars in U.S. Department of Agriculture funding intended for school lunches during the pandemic, but instead used the money for homes, fancy cars, and vacations. The House Committee is the most recent to look into the matter. According to the prosecution, the case, worth over $250 million, is one of the biggest fraud cases relating to the epidemic in the country. The governor, State Education Commissioner Willie Jett, U.S. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack, and USDA Inspector General Phyllis Fong all received subpoenas from the Republican-led committee. A Republican representative from North Carolina, Virginia Fox, has signed subpoena letters stating that the agencies have not provided the committee with all the information it requests for probe. The letter said, despite numerous voluntary requests, the committee has not been able to obtain substantive responsive materials in this matter. The state worked diligently to stop the fraud, and we're grateful to the FBI for working with the Department of Education to arrest and charge the individuals involved, according to a statement from Claire Lancaster, a spokesman for Walz. Documents must be supplied in response to the subpoenas by September 18th at noon. In a report released in June, the legislative auditor for Minnesota found that the State Department of Education lacked proper controls. The report was deemed a fair critique by Walz. Since then, the State Department of Education has received an Inspector General and increased investigation power. Shortly after the first criminal accusations were made public, in September 2022, and well before Walz was announced as the Democratic contender for vice president, the House Committee began to collect information about supervision in the pandemic program. The congressional delegation from Minnesota, led by Republicans, also requested information from the USDA.